Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss if cask finishing is getting to be a little too much. My name is Kathy Cool. Please welcome me. Please join me in welcoming my co-host Steve Akeley, along with our special guests Lenny Eckstein and Tim Sweat.
Hey gang, what's up?
Hello.
Half-point deduction on Kathy Cool for the intro. Half-point deduction.
She stumbled a little bit there.
One good show out of 4. One good show out of 4.
Yeah, number three was good. So yeah, yep. she hit her stride number 3 and then fell off a little bit on the 4th one. So, but we're going to be talking about cask finishing. Is it getting to be too much? It seems like more and more, and it seems like almost everything is cask finish these days. So it's rare that someone's just coming out with a well-aged bourbon. So we'll talk about that. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, though, Tim said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, Tim?
So I was looking through the snack aisle at a Menards this weekend.
Okay.
And I found the best snack item ever. I had this huge ass bag of shelled peanuts. And they always come in small bags. But this thing was like
Gelled.
5 times.
Shelled
it was ridiculous.
peanuts?
What does gelled peanuts mean?
No, shelled peanuts. So peanuts.
Shelled.
Shelled peanuts. So you got to crack and pop them up, but it got me wondering, what's your go-to snack? Because I'm not a snack guy, believe it or not. This fat guy's not a snack guy. But you got potato chips, you've got, peanuts, but then I got, I cracked that bag open and I went to town on, I can't remember how many peanuts are.
Where'd you throw the shells?
I throw them in an extra bowl. You get 2 bowls, then you fill one up, and then you move on to the next one, dump it, and move on to the next one.
For me, that's a ballpark snack.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an animal. But I'll even add in probably dehydrated vegetables because Lenny's on here. So what would be your go-to snack? Because tin fish isn't really a snack. That's a meal for Lenny.
That's a meal.
Dispute that.
That's a meal. No. Go-to snack, just a bag of chips. And it can variety. It could be just regular potato chips. It could be Doritos. It could be burritos. I don't know. I like the salty snacks for sure. Yeah.
McNew loves her Doritos with ranch, right? She just loves them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, she loves her ranch for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
Just like Lenny is vegan.
Yeah.
I'm going to dispute the fact that tin fish are a meal. I've got some right here that I would snack on. These are my the smoked mussels and corn oil, so bourbon tie-in.
Sounds good.
Even while traveling, I bring my titanium spork so that I can eat said tin fish. But
titanium spork.
Critical.
That is critical.
Did you forge that yourself?
What's that? Yeah.
Did you forge it?
No, I don't forge titanium.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be. So, like, when I work in the rack house and I'm there all day and I don't have time to leave, I do have a stack of smoked oysters and Triscuits And I don't think of it as a meal because it's not enough for lunch, but in between, breakfast and late lunch, I'll definitely go for a can of smoked oysters and
Smoked
Triscuits.
oysters and Triscuits. I wonder how many
Fucking
people
delicious.
out there. That's
It
also
goes well with barrel sampling and blending.
Yeah.
That's
Damn
definitely
tinned fish. Yeah. That's so interesting.
it's convenient. It's fucking delicious.
We're gonna have to check your mercury.
Healthy.
It could be a problem. Healthy. Let's check the mercury. Let's see what
Not,
happens.
not a lot of mercury in oysters.
You sure about that?
Yeah, the
Some
mercury happens
petrochemicals.
when fish eat each other, and
I
oysters
love that
eat
Steve's
each other.
worried about your health.
I am.
I appreciate the worry.
I am.
Yeah.
Well, he was the one who said it was healthy. I was like, I don't know about that.
I have my blood work done twice a year. No issues.
No issues. Interesting.
Favorite snacks. I do love a salty snack. So I would say cheese and like pepperonis.
Sure, pepperonis.
But usually my go-to is grapes.
Grapes. That sounds snack.
Yeah, grapes. And if you freeze the red grapes,
No.
they're, frozen red grapes.
Stop it. Kathy doesn't get to participate in this one. She's out.
No. She's also a dental hygienist, correct?
Right.
You're in the dental industry,
Right.
so you're
I
just
am not a
welcoming all
dental
customers.
hygienist. I'm an hire and fire of dental hygienists.
I
Even
could
better.
I could see Kathy if we had like all right, guys, everybody come over to my house, bring something. Kathy'd bring the damn grapes. She wouldn't touch them herself, neither would anyone else, but she'd be talking about how she brought
I
something.
did
healthy
talk
home.
about cheese and sausage.
Oh, my buddy Mike, that's what he would always do. He brought the goddamn veggie tray to every Super Bowl party, and then you just had to dress everyone down how they bring all these unhealthy snacks. By the way, I looked at his plate. What the fuck is he eating? The wings, the little smokies,
That's right.
chips.
All
He
the
wasn't
cakes,
eating any of that goddamn
meatballs.
vegetable stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, little smokies are a great snack, but who's going to make them?
What do you
Don't they
mean?
come made?
They come made.
Well,
You just put them in barbecue
No,
sauce and
the
eat them up.
best way to have them is to let them sit in barbecue sauce and grape jelly for like 3 hours.
We talk about grapes
Where's their
again.
grape jelly?
Yeah. So, okay. That's
Is
someone's
this
got to
like
make it. There's
peanuts?
effort there.
Well, I don't have 3 hours to wait for a snack. A snack is something instant.
You never went to our Super Bowl parties. It was kind of a big deal. Yeah, everybody bring all the stuff they made like that. Yeah, but you just get there. You're like, where can I plug this in? Yeah, there you go. It's not a big deal. It's easy.
Cheese and chips.
I'm not
Cheese
mad
and
at
tortilla
cheese.
chips.
Okay.
What kind of cheese?
Belvita and Rotel.
Velveeta.
I thought you were going
That's
to
your
say like
snack.
brie or
Oh.
Gouda or something.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to cook a snack,
Asiago.
I'm going to heat up some Velveeta and
Parmigiano.
Rotel and dip tortilla chips in it.
No, that's a wrong
Yes.
answer. Kathy's been wrong. Everything Kathy answered was wrong. How
Just
can
wrong.
you get a subjective question wrong? I don't. We just figured out a way to get a subjective question wrong.
That's great.
Yeah. All right. Tim, back to you. You asked the question.
I'm cracking peanut shells. I'm normally a pretzel
So that's
guy, like,
it. So
it's just
like
peanuts.
road trip.
Yo, peanuts.
Okay. All right. So, here we go. Road trip. Pulling the gas station. We've been driving for 3 hours. I'm like, okay, I'm gassing up. Well, I'm good for another 4 hours. Get what you need. So you're telling me I just said I get a bag of chips. This is what I would get at the gas station. So you're going to get goddamn peanuts in my car? I'm going to be like, you fucking asshole. No, that'll be
Out of
all
that
over my
bag
car.
of David sunflower
Oh,
seeds.
she's
with
gonna
the
have
alcohol.
like
Worst.
she's gonna
Unacceptable.
walk in. Kathy's gonna walk in the grocery store and say, "Where are your frozen grapes?" And they're gonna be like, "Get the
Yes,
fuck out
I
of
am.
here." So she's
Where's
gonna have
your
nothing.
wedges of Velveeta?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where's your wedges of Velveeta? Yeah. And Lenny's gonna have the tin fish, which they do have, but imagine
But it's
that in the
gonna
car.
stink up your
it's gonna
car.
stink up the car. Yeah.
Yeah, it might spill in the upholstery as
Your
well.
guys' answers were all terrible. All terrible. Yeah.
Well, we didn't say what snacks happen in a car. Like that's
Yeah, that's
Is
a
that the
different
case?
category.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Let's go around the horn. I just stopped in the scenario. I said,
if it was a
get
good, I would go with string cheese.
string cheese. That's a good one.
Yeah, for a
Plain
car.
M&Ms.
It's also string cheese is affordable these days. Most of the shit, like a bag of goddamn Big Grabs from Doritos, which used to be like $1, now it's like $3. Like, god damn, everything's so expensive.
I
String
find
cheese,
it funny
89
that Lenny
cents.
chooses cheese. That's a smart move because I'm sure he's shitting like a goose when he's eating all those oysters and everything like that.
Oh,
The
yeah,
cheese will at least
just going
regulate
right
him
through 'em.
out.
That's
No,
going
no,
right
Yeah.
through 'em.
I have supreme GI health. I just had it checked out actually.
I doubt it. Tim, what do you get at the gas station?
I'm getting if I'm getting at the gas station, I'd be getting probably the honey roasted peanuts in the bag.
Peanuts.
But you tear the corner off and you're slamming it down. It's like you're slamming it down. You tear the corner off.
It feels like at this point we can recognize everybody in this group's feces at this point. So yeah, the peanut log. I wonder whose that is. Yeah.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos and M&Ms.
Flamin' Hot. There you go.
Oh.
That's a good road trip pickup. Right.
Well, where are you wiping your hands on then? You're wiping your hands on your pants.
That's true. You better have grabbed napkins. Yeah.
That's right. You give me shit about peanuts in your car. Who's wiping Cheetos to wrap them over the fingers?
Kathy, she just put it on the seat for sure. And I got those great seats.
On the side by the center console in the passenger seat, right? So Kathy, you can't see it. So wiping her hand
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah,
Kathy would be riding shotgun with me. She'd be riding shotgun with Tim in the back seat. That's hilarious to think about.
Right?
Yeah.
When we were talking
she'd have the seat all the way back too, even though she has tiny legs.
Well, so here's the thing, though. It would have to be me in the front because I would have to squish my seat up.
No,
so that
yours
Tim
would
could
be
have
fully
the proper leg room in the back. Because between the two of you, you would push your seat so far back.
Oh, I basically sit in the back seat. Luckily, Lenny could sit behind me, no problem.
That's true.
Well, we'd have to get a booster seat for Lenny to strap him in because he's got to meet the height requirement.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Missouri is one of those height states, Lenny, unfortunately.
So when are they
driving in one of those? Because he drives himself. He's driving around. He's in a little booster
seat. Blocks on his feet, Yeah. It's like Short Round from...
most cars have a seat, like you can raise the seat up. You guys probably don't use that feature, but you just push it up and
I use it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
No. Well, interesting. All right. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? I'll go first. I have the 2024 Yellowstone LE. Yes, I do. Oh, yeah.
Is that finished in something?
It is. Of course, it's finished. Yes, it is. Finished in cognac and brandy casks. Cognac and brandy. That's a couple of good options there. I like those. But here we go. Swine on set. Solid. Could be enough. Could be enough today. We'll see. We'll let Tim go next so I can hold on to sweet victory for at least a little bit.
Yes, you will. I've got a bottle of Old Jet Brothers. This is Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in toasted French oak.
Okay. All right.
Slide on the set.
Nothing there. Nothing but silence. All right. Sounds of silence. Yes. We used to do trivia nights, and one of the categories was music, and you'd always say, okay, the next song, and there'd always be, of course, a little bit of a delay there. And someone would always yell, "The sounds of silence!" Same motherfucking joke every year. No, because I was running the trivia night. Same goddamn joke every year. That guy, he just waited for that all year round so he could yell at the sounds of silence. Kathy, you're last but not least. Well, I've got the lead.
I'm going to go back to my RD1 from the ABV Barrel Shop because it is finished with red oak.
Okay.
Red oak.
Okay. Nope. Decent, but not enough. I've got the lead. Lenny has yet to go, though.
All right. I've got a bottle of Deer Hammer American Single Malt that is a blend of finished single malt in rum barrel, brandy barrel, port barrel, and protein.
This is why we did the show. This is why we did the show right here.
Hey, if you're going to ask, I'm going to give.
Oh,
damn it.
There it is. Lenny
that
wins.
Motherfucker.
Lenny won. Lenny won, so cheers to him.
Cheers.
Oh, Steve, last show pour for sure.
Steve.
Last show pour, yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, or Lenny and his finishes getting to be too much, we'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
This is Lenny Eckstein, and to set the record straight, I am a vegan, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. We are talking about how many barrels Lenny's going to finish his whiskey in.
Yes.
Not really. But
he
something
tied
about
the American
finishing
record of
whiskey.
4.
I can't stop.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a big thing these days. Finishes for sure. I mean, everything is coming out as finished. Is it going to be too much? Or at some point, where our consumers going to be like, they just want to go back and rediscover their love just for great American bourbon? Or is finishing going to continue to be the big thing? I don't know. I don't know the answer. So let's talk about it. What do you guys think?
8:14 p.m.
There you go. 8:14 p.m.
It's 8:14 p.m.
Someone cued my Siri to ask what time it was. I think it's going to...
It's 8:15 p.m.
Fuck me.
God damn it. I mean, we're trying to do a professional show here, Kathy.
I took the watch off.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Okay.
having an Apple Watch.
I think that it's going to find its niche, and
Okay.
we're going to get a correction. But I
Okay.
want to ask Lenny questions about that particular whiskey that he just talked about.
Okay.
It was finished in how many different barrels?
Let's see. Well, it was a blend of various barrel finishes and then ultimately all married together and placed in a hogshead that it's still sitting in. So rum, brandy, port, and Petit Verdot wine. So 4 barrels blended together and then entered into...
So it wasn't a single barrel that moved into 4 different barrels. It was...
That's right. The marriage of 4 different barrels into one, now it's sitting in a hogshead.
The hogshead. Yeah.
Yep.
Does that count as a 5th one?
It does,
Yeah.
in my book.
I do. it
What's
would
the
for me
hog? Is the
too.
hogshead sherry?
It was previously held wine.
Oh, mine, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, red wine.
So 5 finishes. 5 finishes to that one.
Yep. But here's the thing. It's an American
ahead.
single malt. And
I was
one
just
of the
gonna go-
many things I love about that category is it doesn't require a statement of the finishing barrel. It could be aged in any barrel. So I really like that factor of American single malt and find it, I shouldn't say stifling in a bourbon because I'm kind of glad the rules are the way they are. But if I am thinking, hey, this bourbon would taste awesome in this finishing barrel, I don't do it because I don't want to create a new label.
Uh-huh.
So
Gotcha.
that's my take on finished bourbon.
I'm with Lenny. I think it depends on the distilled spirit. What I wish we would be very honest about is any of that bourbon finished in another spirits cask is no longer bourbon, but that door has been open and that's not going to close anytime soon. Wish would be more apparent, more transparent on that. It is not bourbon anymore. It's now whiskey.
Well, by that, certainly the TTB allows it though, right? Like whether
Correct, sure.
That's what I'm saying. are the one brand opened the door on that one, got
Yeah,
it, and then
that's
everybody
okay.
trucked through that. But if people say, well, that's bourbon, I said, well, come on. It goes on to the point of another show. The education, be able to talk through that is very important to understand. It doesn't mean it's a bad product, but I do appreciate the single malts in these various different finishes. Some of the best stuff I have that's finished out of American single malt, Lenny, I'm just not saying it. I believe it is what stuff you're doing there with the single malt. With the bourbons, it's getting too much. We're getting too far away from the bourbons, the traditional flavors of bourbon, or what you would expect it to be, I think. And it's just getting out of hand. Everybody's trying to one-up each other, it seems like.
Right.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of ambivalent on this, but in a sense, like, I feel like whether it's for me or not, I'm okay with it as long as, and it's required by law, it says what it is. So if it did get finished in or with Amberana sticks or in an actual barrel, who knows how they do it, it has to say that. So we know that going into it. We know it's going to taste like Christmas. I'm a little ticked by bourbon brands out there that are finishing a bourbon but not disclosing it because, hey, there could be a lot of a really nice fruit note, and if you don't know, you're like, God, dog, this bourbon's delicious. I'm getting crazy fruit complexity. But to me, that's not. But you can't. That's an illegal product, and I know that's happening.
Right.
Well, that's disappointing. I feel like finished bourbons are good for gateway bourbons. They're good to bring wine drinkers into bourbon. They're good to bring people who love sweet things into bourbon. And then they can refine their palate.
But I don't see it working that way. I see more traditional bourbon drinkers going to the finishes. And that's becoming the new base. Really, is what finishes do you have? And I also hear that again, we're talking about non-distilling producers. I certainly hear a lot of rumor, a lot of chatter that there's a lot of them adding in some flavoring and stuff like that to really accent the finishes that they're doing, to give it a pump of whatever flavor you want to say it is. Blackberry wine. I don't have an example of that one, so I'm just going to throw that one out there. But hey, I want to make sure that people are tasting blackberry wine, so I'm gonna pump that up a little bit, which is illegal. They but we know that people do a lot of shit that's illegal in this business.
Well, so. How dry is that cask? How recently was that prior cask emptied, and how much was fully emptied out of it? You start going towards the Canadian side now.
Lenny, didn't you just post something recently about you have to empty?
Yeah, I mean, and that's like, there's no one from the government enforcing anything, but we all have to draw our own lines that we abide by. And for me, if I had 2 barrels that held, thank you, Steve, blackberry mead. So the fermented honey wine that had
I was calling Lenny out apparently.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So I opened. First of all, I forgot I had these, and I pulled the bung, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I was like, "Oh, this actually smells good." So then I sipped some out. I said, "Hey, it tastes pretty good." It didn't. I thought after sitting for 3 weeks, it would have gone kind of weird, but no, it tasted great. So I went outside. Actually, I did it inside, and I did one outside, one inside. After the one inside, I decided that was a bad idea, but I turned it upside down. I pulled the bung, and all that meat dumped all over the floor, and you could still see the stain from it today. So in my mind, when you fill a barrel that was previously held, a wine, whatever it is, sherry, I don't care what, you dump it out, and it has to be, there should be nothing left dripping. Is that barrel going to still be kind of wet? Yeah. Is there going to be the remainder in some level of that liquid deeper in the wood? Absolutely. But there's got to be some line that you draw. You're like, I will not fill a barrel that has a gallon of, whatever, like sherry in it.
Yeah.
You got to dump it out, I believe. I feel like otherwise it's a flavored product through and through. Now, subtle line there, I guess, but I don't know how you dump out a barrel that had honey in it. It doesn't really dump, right? Like, it's going to drip a little, but there's going to be a lot of fucking honey in that barrel.
Right.
And I know that's very popular. I draw a line there and say, to me, I'm sorry, that's an old-fashioned once you do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know people love it, so whoever producers that do it, keep doing it because people will buy it.
Well, it's interesting, those producers that do that honey barrel finish, the honey separates from the liquid in the bottle, and then people freak out about it, say, oh, there's something wrong with this liquid. No, That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Read your chemistry books. Remember high school chemistry. I know it's hard to do. Shake it up and you're fine again.
And someone might be listening to this and hear what I say and be like, you asshole, you can't just dump it out and think that that's not the same thing. Maybe you're right. I don't know. We got to draw a line somewhere. I just don't like the idea of liquid sloshing around in there prior to a whiskey going in there.
Right.
It's got to come out, I feel.
Well, plenty don't feel that way because I know that, a lot of them will be like, oh, there was a lot of whatever kind of wine left in there. And, because you'll see some and you know that that's what's happening, right? And we all seen finished products where it's like, boy, that is incredibly dark. Well, why is that? Because it's got that dark wine in there. So, and there was more left than just what drew out of the wood, clearly, on some of these. I mean, they're dark as motor oil.
There's another side to this too, though, that I take anyway, which is historically, whiskey production in Scotland, their maturation was in primarily ex-sherry barrels, and then when they got their hands on bourbon barrels, ex-bourbon barrels, and then they would refill them to a second time, a third time, a fourth time, and sherry in particular was a big component of Scotch whiskey, but it's not here, and maybe part of that is because we have so much oak that grows in our country, so it's not hard for us to get barrels.
Right.
Part of that is certainly because with bourbon, rye, wheat whiskey, you have to use charred new oak. But again, with American single malt, that's an interesting example of one where you do not. You can use used oak that held single malt. You can use used oak that held bourbon. You can use used oak that held
Use elk, sure.
anything. I don't know. I mean, it's
Maybe it held elk.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, which brings up another interesting point. A long time ago, I did a cacao nib barrel finish, which the TTB did not like the idea of. And I said to them, why the hell not? You can do other barrel finishes. And the TTB agent said to me, it's because barrels don't hold cacao nibs, as you're insinuating. That's not a thing. They can hold wine or beer or other products that are beverage alcohol related, but they do not hold cacao nibs. I was like, I cannot argue with you. While mine is holding cacao nibs, they do not typically hold cacao nibs. It's an interesting concept because barrels used to be used for storage. Lore would say that they held fish at one point.
Yep.
And that's why they char them, is to get that, what some people might call a fish stink out of there.
Yeah, you would, though. You would like that.
I would love it.
Tinned fish whiskey coming soon.
Tinned fish
Oaked whiskey all day.
Yeah. I disagree that in today's, everything's going into a barrel. So a barrel is holding things that it hasn't traditionally. Coffee beans. Cacao nibs. You name it. There's so many things that are being stored in barrels for bourbon products.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not saying the government's right.
Honeys. Yeah, honeys. There's all kinds of things that weren't, 15 years ago. None of those things were happening now. There's
maple
a lot
syrup, hot sauce.
Right.
Name it, barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And if you got a different TTB agent, they could have had a different opinion.
You are spot on. That's exactly how it works.
Yeah,
Instead of nibs, Lenny, if you melted it down and said liquid chocolate was in there.
Yeah, if I said I was fermenting it and that's been my process for 100 years,
Sure.
They assume they want a liquid in there, some type of liquid or substance. But yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
What finishes do you guys like?
Big fan of the brandies.
Brandy finish. I like brandy
finishes.
So, yeah.
Vanilla brandy. Red Line had that one. I love the brandy finishes. Are very unique.
I love the dark arts that was finished in the maple.
Yeah.
That's so
He did a
good.
good one on that one too. You're right. I thought he did the Amberana right too as well. It's just the right amount of Amberana. You either get that one right or you get that one very, very wrong.
Right.
Do you guys consider toasted oak a finish?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What if it's, I know the answer to this, but this is like without...
what if it's fish and toasted oak?
I was not going to ask
That's your
that.
question?
I think just a secondary barrel is a finish. Regular charred new oak barrel, a secondary barrel, that's a finish. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it gets interesting. Like, something I do a lot would be to pull down, let's say, like 5 barrels of bourbon, harvest them in my tank, gauge them, and maybe return 2 back of that blend to the original barrels, or randomly, whichever 2 barrels I pull, that they came out of. What's that? It's like...
That's you fucking around, man.
I know. There's no... but it's not really double barrel.
I'd argue some of that liquid married in there is going into a new barrel, so it'd be a finish.
Yeah, I know. It gets... The semantics of it are kind of interesting.
Well, look what Michter's did. So they've got the... Michter's, I always fuck that up. You've got their US 1 bourbon, then you have their American whiskey.
Yes.
2 very different products. Arguably, I like one better than the other, and I like the American whiskey better than they're both great, but that American whiskey, I think, is more nuanced to me than the regular bourbon. I put that in a blind sampling in a tasting before, and that same result came out, and the people's mind were blown that, no, that's bourbon. I said, no, it's not. It's a completely different product, but in used cooperage. And it's amazing what the difference and the nuances can come with some of this stuff. You start playing with the barrels. And
again, like I kind of to some extent goes the interpretation or semantics, but the TTB will mandate that it has to be charred new oak, but they don't really talk about if it can or can't be toasted, and certainly they're not saying it can't be toasted. So something I've done at Deerhammer since day one was go with a heavy toast char 2, and while that's been our exclusive maturation, that's a finishing maturation for a lot of people to go into a barrel like that, like Michter's does that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Heavy toast like char for a finish. So it's interesting stuff.
It is.
Not really.
It is, and I don't think I think it's going to be a while before we see any sort of correction or reverse on finishes. I think we're still knee deep in finishes for sure. So yeah, I think it's going to continue and get even more. And what I appreciate is when someone comes up with something new. I don't need the 50th Amberana oak. It's not going to be any different. That's so overpowering. It makes everything taste the same. I like when someone gets creative, whether it's multiple
I think
finishes.
Barrel is a poster child for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're always coming up with something new. So
you just can't forget that it all starts with the base product. The base product is garbage in, garbage out, no matter what you do.
That is true. And I guess, like, to that point, I think it's really, at the very least, come out with all these finishes, but give me a pure product as well.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. We got to be able to taste your whiskey. We got to taste the base. So yeah, there you go. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Tim, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at SwyGuy2112 and on YouTube at Our Flagship Whiskey.
Lenny.
You can find me and the rest of Deerhammer on social media at Deerhammer, on the webs at deerhammer.com. You can find me in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado, dumping blackberry mead out of barrels before I put whiskey back into them.
Okay. Why can't anybody have that? How come they didn't get to?
I had some.
Drink? Oh, did you? Just you?
Off the floor?
Yeah.
No, I sipped it out of the barrel before I dumped it.
Okay, fair enough.
That'll teach you.
All right, Kathy, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at KKCastStrength.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check that out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Come by and see me, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. Maybe KK's hanging out there. You just never know what's going to be going on there. So check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. Kathy, anything else to say before we get out of here?
Yes, I want to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Fartins, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
See you, everyone.
Guys.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.